Welcome to Primitive Advice. I'm glad you're here because what I'm about to share might just change the way you see yourself and how others see you. Here's the truth. The smartest men I've met don't always talk the most, they're real. Power comes from knowing what not to say. Today, I want to show you 7 things intelligent men never say. Not because they're perfect, but because they've learned, sometimes the hard way, that these phrases lead nowhere good. So grab a seat, hit that subscribe button, and let's get wiser together. -1. I already know that. This one's subtle but dangerous. Years ago, I was working with a mentor, a man of few words, calm, experienced. We were reviewing a task I'd done many times before. He started giving me a tip, and I cut him off. Yeah, I already know that. He looked at me, calm but serious, and moved on. That evening, I realized what I'd done. I hadn't just interrupted him. I robbed myself of wisdom that came from years of experience. Here's what that phrase really says: I have nothing left to learn. And that's not intelligence, that's arrogance. Marcus Aurelius said, "You cannot learn what you think you already know." Intelligent men stay open. They don't perform knowledge, they pursue it. So next time you hear something you think you've heard before, pause, listen, you might catch something new. And even if you don't, you practice humility. And that's what earns respect. 2. That's impossible. I used to work with a man named Robert. He was sharp, skilled. But whenever someone brought a new idea, he'd say the same 2 words: that's impossible. At first, it sounded like wisdom, like realism, but over time, I realized he wasn't judging the idea, he was projecting his own fear. Fear of failure, fear of risk, fear of the unknown. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." That's what was happening. He wasn't being logical. He was being scared. Here's what intelligent men know: most things aren't impossible, they're just unfamiliar. And if you keep showing up, one step at a time, you'll go further than the man who never tries. 3. That's not my fault. Here's a tough one. A friend of mine, Michael, lost a huge client. He blamed the team, blamed the economy, blamed the client, everything but himself. And while he defended his reputation, he lost the chance to grow. Here's what intelligent men do differently. They take responsibility, not to accept blame, but to stay in control. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters." When you own your part, even just a small piece, you become powerful again, and over time. That habit builds trust. In yourself and in the people around you. 4. I don't need help. This one feels noble, but it's deadly. We celebrate the lone wolf, the guy who carries it all. But the truth, refusing help isn't strength. It's pride. Even Abraham Lincoln, a man leading a nation through civil war, surrounded himself with people who challenged him. He didn't need to, but he chose to because wise men know strength grows in connection, not isolation. I've learned this the hard way. Trying to carry everything alone doesn't make you a hero. It wears you down. The courage to say I need help might be the bravest thing you ever do. 5. I'm too old for that. Let me tell you about Harry Bernstein. At 93 years old, he wrote his first book. It became a bestseller. He wrote 3 more after age 95. Why? Because he didn't believe that his time was over. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. So live fully. While you can. Age doesn't disqualify you. It empowers you. As long as you're breathing. You're not done. 6. I'll do it later. Later sounds harmless, but it's a thief. A slow, silent killer of potential. I knew a man named Thomas. He kept pushing back time with his father, busy with work. Always later, but later never came. His father passed away before the next call. Before the fishing trip. Before the apology. The Stoics remind us. Later is an illusion. If it matters, do it now. Take the step. Say the words. Don't wait for someday. Because someday is where regret lives. -7. that's just how I am. This phrase sounds like honesty, but it's actually resignation. It says, I've stopped trying to grow. Some men say, I've always had a temper, or I'm just not good at relationships. Double quotes no. That single quotes as not identity. That's an excuse. Epictetus said, it's not events that disturb us, it's our judgments. You're not a finished product, you're a work in progress. And every day, you can make a different choice. Intelligent men evolve. They ask, who can I become next? And then they start becoming. Outroso, which one hit home? Was it I'll do it later, or that's just how I am? Whatever it was, this is your moment to change it, because intelligent men aren't perfect. They're just willing to learn. To grow. To keep moving forward. If this sparked something in you, drop a comment that says, I'm in, share this with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe, because every time I discover a new insight, I want you to hear it first. Until next time, stay humble, stay strong. And